A very warm welcome to the program. And two former governors of Jigawa State, Sule Lamido and Senator Ibrahim Saminu Turaki, recently reconciled and agreed to work together to sack the Governor of Progressive Congress from the state. Now, the two former governors were at each other's necks previously for over a decade, having political differences, but now have agreed to shelve their differences to wrestle power from the governing APC in the forthcoming general elections. These governors have recently been meeting behind closed doors under the supervision of the PDP state executives, headed by the PDP state chairman, Ibrahim. And of course, after that meeting, there was a briefing where they all agreed to work for a peaceful resolution of the crisis in the PDP in the state and then ensure that the PDP is eventually sacked. While we will be having our guests discussing on what's going on in the PDP and all of that, we also have him to talk about local politics in Jigawa State. And of course, I have joining me now Senator Ibrahim Saminu Turaki, who is a former federal lawmaker representing Jigawa Northwest Senatorial District and a former governor of Jigawa State himself. So good to have you here with us.
Thank you very much.
So has it been like...
First of all, point of correction. Babandi is the deputy gubernatorial candidate of PDP, not the party chairman.
Okay.
And we did not meet under the state executives. I was supposed to contest in 2019 on PDP senatorial seat, but everybody came and said, no, don't do it. APC is the house you built. And the governor of Jigawa State was a businessman. My junior, my junior in school. Everybody you see, when we fell out in we came together when Erada was nominated as a friend. So I said, okay, instead of us taking all this, Lamido should go for governorship, I will go for Senate. And after that, there was a quarrel, I think 2 years after, and we decided 6 weeks to the election to take a new party to the state, which was ACN.
Yeah.
Because Bola was a friend and
yes,
he was my colleague, and Badaru was a flag bearer of ACN. So I brought him into politics, and most of the senators, everybody in APC, were never in politics before 1999. I brought them in. So when you say flush out APC, no. 90% or 80% APC structures are my structures.
So what exactly is responsible for that infighting that has led to these challenges that you're having with your political associates?
They're not my associate. What happened is when you form a political party, when you form a movement, we had a movement. So after the movement had matured, it's a Nigerian story. Everybody wants to be his own man, and they don't want a boss or somebody. And I'm younger than them, actually 2 years younger than them, age-wise. I became a governor at 35.
I mean, in the 1999 set of governors, yourself, yes. Ojuzo Kalu,
I was the
youngest set of governors.
Yes, but I was the youngest of all. So they feel, no, he cannot be our boss. So how do we bring him down? Do you understand? It's nothing personal. We're still friends. We're secondary, some of them secondary school, some of them university friends. They were never in politics. I felt, okay, if you have politicians, why don't you bring also people from the states, from the who are not politicians, to man things so that we can have a meeting, so that we can plan for the next 20 years. And it looks like everything I have done had arrived at that. The only issue is now, okay, since you have arrived at the destination, we don't want you, so that nobody will say there's a boss around. I've never been a boss in my life.
Yeah, but did they leave you because of the challenges you had with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission? Because some of those cases went on for a very long period of time.
Yes, I was coming to that. I saw this guy is talking about the custom, about $6 trillion, 6 trillion naira subsidy for petroleum. So there was a committee. I told the president, then President Obasanjo, because he liked me, I always experiment, do things that should be done. Like the pension scheme. In 2001, we said, okay, we should stop people say they have budgeted for pension and all that things. So when there was a salary increase, I negotiated with the labor. I said, look, we will do a law. I'm an actuary by profession. We will do a law like they did in Chile, so that you have public-private pension scheme. That's President Obasanjo. He said, is this possible? I said, yes, it's possible. So in 2001, we passed the law. And we said, okay, state should do 17%, and the employees should do 8%, and we match state and local government together. And today, the pension had 39 billion naira surplus. And our calculation, as I am an actuary, calculation that in 10 years' time, to be fully paid. So Jigawa doesn't have petered. Jigawa pension scheme is based on the day you retire, your last salary. And it's fully paid. So that is why today, when you retire in Jigawa, you have that.
But coming back to the question.
No, I'm trying to answer your question.
Yeah.
So, and then we said we did law on UBE 2001. And then we said, okay, the future is going to be based on e-governance on the internet. It's the new thing. Today, people talk about blockchain and others. So for you to do that, there has to be investment in telecom sector and infrastructure, but also in the brain. So we started the Informatics Institute. So there will be manpower for the ICT sector of the country. And I remember every Lagos, our friend Bola Tinubu sent 500 people to do cyber security in Jigawa. And we are the best. And President Clinton said, you're a young man like me, I will help you. He said, you look at the US Navy. Anywhere there, they have connection. So I will make you as an example what I can do in Africa. So we did Galaxy Backbone. Today, when you look back, you see 7-story building. You see Oji Ozekalo house. You see,
I mean, but that's one of the...
Yes, but Galaxy Backbone is there. We founded it, even though now it belongs to the federal government, because the governor that came after me said he doesn't want to do anything with it. So we had many new things. So I told the president, instead of paying 225 billion then on subsidy, why don't we do fuel ethanol program? So that whatever amount of money you spend is going to your farmers. So you have 10 million farmers doing sugarcane, for example. So that money goes to them, and they make 35 because 20% of sugar of the cane juice will give you the sugar. So we do straight into ethanol instead of even making sugar. And we calculated that you need $5 billion to do that. And the president said, where do you get the money? I said, simply just give us some oil field and we'll get the banks to finance it. And then the profit will now be put into that program. That is my economic and financial program.
Yeah, but
wait. Today is 6 trillion. Our time was 200 billion. Even if you do Dangote refinery, even when you do that, two businesses, airline and refinery, have high fixed costs. The variable cost around 18 to 20%. So if you have a plane, you will pay for fueling, you will pay for landing fees, you will pay for you will pay for crew. It doesn't matter whether it's 500 or 100 passengers. In the refinery, it has to reach a certain temperature. Whether you have 100,000 barrels or you have 10,000 barrels, it doesn't matter. It has to reach that. And once you shut down the refinery, it will cake. So you have to start all over again. Yeah. So the best thing would have been to do the ethanol program like Brazil did. People talk about cassava. Cassava is a food item. So, and I saw NMPC going that way, and it's wrong. When Brazil started that, there was disease in the cassava area, and cassava being a staple food, it doesn't fit that. But sugarcane is like grass. Every state in Nigeria can grow sugarcane. And so President Obasanjo was the chairman of that program. I was the vice chairman. President doesn't go to the program, and I keep telling them this is the program, and this is a national program. But at that time, a Gestapo was formed because 13 governors supported Atiku to go against Obasanjo. Yeah. So how do we destroy potential future presidents? Whether they are right or wrong.
What was the thinking? So the thinking of your political adversaries that you were going to become a potential president.
Yes,
and
so because of that, let's destroy him. And today, I'm not wrong, because it's like I said, I have nothing against Dangote refinery, but if I can have 10, 20, 30 million farmers doing sugarcane, every part of the country doing it, maybe Nigeria may even be exporting to Brazil, to Japan and other places.
So do you suspect Dangote has been one of those?
No. I'm saying there are two kinds of solutions. You do a big refinery, or you do an ethanol program like Brazil. You have 30 million farmers, each having today, how much is, in some places is $2 now, some $4 per liter of fuel. So even if at $1, we were able to, in 7 years, we were able to do sugarcane that could do 198 tons per hectare. So we become second only to Peru. United States was doing 58, Brazil 65. So it means that every farmer can get at least 20% of that. It means you have 40 liters. Today, if it's 40 liters, even at $1, that's $40,000. So with that, he will pay for whatever he gives for the investment, maybe it's $5 to $10, and then OPIC from the United States can say, okay, we will now build houses for them, modern houses. Now they pay in 40 years because you already have income. That is why people want to work for government. So you have 40 million people having income, export to hydrogen now to Japan and others, which means you're adding minimum $40 billion to your economy.
Okay.
That's
a good perspective there in terms of the economy.
And I remember arguing with Nur Badu. He said he doesn't understand that.
It was too complex for him to understand. Was that part of the reason why you got into problem with the EFCC?
Yes. No, not only EFCC. I remember President Obasanjo telling me that I went too far for decentralizing my government. Yes, and that's why he will not make me president. But I'm happy. I decentralized my government, and Westminster came and look at what we did during the decentralization. So I went too far, yes, it's true. But to have economic benefit, to have every Nigerian, it doesn't make sense for Ministry of Petroleum to be in Abuja when you don't have petroleum in Abuja. It doesn't make sense for Ministry of Commerce to be in Abuja. Maybe they should be in Kano or Abia. You understand?
These are some of the innovations that you tried to bring into your own sort of politics.
People find it difficult to understand. But today, you can see 90% of that have been proven right.
Okay, let's come back to the politics that you are having in your state.
Yes.
Do you think that Badaru has not performed very well? That's why there's that new thinking among your people that if PDP is able to get its politics right, that it will actually win the state.
It's not getting its act right. I believe 70% of the electorate are with us. We don't
and where did you get that figure from? Because I mean, APC being the governing party for close to 8 years now.
Lamido was a governing party. Remember, I brought Badr and overthrew that. And it's going to happen again. The issue is simple. Let Shor Ado, my historian, rest in peace, said when he left for army, the same place he left, he came back and said it was the same place when they handed over back in 1979. So he said, he said, let's form People's First. It was called People's Front. So he said, like the military, when they take over a place, they put their foot on ground. So what we did was, okay, when we came, we said, okay, let's look at, let's do a census of every household in Jigawa. What do they want? Where are they? Where will they be? So every year we check our policies against that. And then we came up with, they came with the policy that, look, after this, governor, chairman, and councillors are at the headquarters, then nothing else. So it's okay, let's do a government at the polling unit. So we call it Jigawa State People's Congress. So that Congress has half of their budget will be used for capital projects like cleaning gutters, if the roof of
local community services and all of that.
And then the 35% is microcredit to the women, because we are the poorest. So if we give women capital, they will now take care of their children to go to school. 10%, everybody coming to Jigawa will be registered. So we had analysts that analyze whether you are buying bread 5,000 naira worth of bread, whether you're buying rice. So we know there's a crime. And it worked. The executive 10 are choosing from women and men, and people will queue up behind that. And we had radio stations in every local government to monitor that. So with that political setup, which we started 2 years before I became a governor.
Yeah.
So it continued. Yesterday I was telling somebody from one side, why don't you introduce the same thing? Then we're doing 100,000 naira per unit.
So with that now, you think that you have a formidable political alliance with Sule Lamido that can be able to dislodge the deputy governor who's the APC governorship candidate?
No, it's not an alliance. We had always been together. We fell apart because of policy difference. The policy difference is I wanted the polling units to continue because that is where the grassroots is. So today I said, okay, fine. And Badaru promised to do that. And Badaru promised to decentralize, and he didn't do it.
So he needs to be sacked for not doing that.
No, he's not sacked. He has finished his term.
Yeah, I mean, his political structure. That's what I'm saying, needs to be sacked because he didn't implement that.
There are two political structures in Jigawa. Lamido has structure, I have my structure. Badaru is out of my structure.
Are you now saying that Badaru hasn't built his own structure in these years that he's been in government?
Okay, fine. Who are his structures? Ask him.
With all the senators he has been able to put in place and House of Rep members,
no.
local government
Wait,
you don't think that's a structure enough?
Okay, I will take district by district. From my district, you have Eladi Sankara, who's from Lamido's camp. He brought people from Lamido's camp because when we won the election, 80% of APC is ACN group. The one in before he brought somebody from Gumal, PDP also. From Hadejia, my former Attorney General, who was a banker, who became secretary to the government, and I made it my last deputy governor, is a senator from there. From Hadejia, from Duse, from the same local government, Sule Lamido, his political protege, Sabona Kudu, is the senator from there. I can take you on the House of Reps. So yes, so the whole thing is, he didn't build new structure. What he did was to take Lamido's people to add to my people.
So he's scavenged political associates from both Lamido's camp and your camp.
And then our own camp now has been relegated to the background.
So what are the chances of the PDP?
So all his, he pushed people who are not part of his structure to go to the front and suppress his own people. Now,
with Sule Lamido's son as a PDP governorship candidate, don't you think that people would want to vote against him because, there's that fear that Sule Lamido is trying to build a political dynasty in Jigawa State?
At least I became governor at 31. I became governor at
35?
35. So Sule Lamido's son is, Mustafa is around even 40. He's not you understand. We want a younger person, has a PhD. He has seen the politicals, he has seen our government, and he has seen Lamido's government. And anywhere we go, I will say, okay, you speak. And he had promised to bring back the polling unit structure, Jigawa People's Congress.
You wanted.
Which I wanted. He has promised to decentralize, which I wanted. So I have no quarrel with him. And I want somebody to continue our legacy. Because there were two of them being looked at that time. Himself and from APC was Kashupu, who is the head of NIDA. Yeah. Because NIDA is also... Yes, NIDA is a continuation of my ICT program. So PDP in their own, APC in their own did not give him the ticket. The Lamido is not Lamido's son. He is in his own right. Mustafa in his own right. So whether he's Lamido's son, anybody's son, in his own right, he can be a very good governor.
Yeah, but do you think he stands the chance against Umar Namadi, who is the APC governorship candidate and is the incumbent deputy governor of Jigawa State? I mean, with the backing of the state that he enjoys, the governor, and of course APC being a government in power, do you think that the PDP stands the chance? Of
there are 5 criteria, which I do. Everything I do, I calculate as a mathematician. The 5 criteria are: where was I as a person 10 years ago or 5 years ago, before Badaro, where am I today? What are my fortunes? Who? Those five criteria. Number one is where was I yesterday? Where will I be tomorrow? Where was I today? Now the first criteria is my life better under Badaro than under Saminu or under Lamido. That will be how the election will be decided. Okay. Yes, the political structure. We all have our own political structure.
So incumbency is not a factor for the deputy governor, who is the APC governorship
candidate. No, okay, I'm contesting for Senate.
Yes.
Will somebody who Badaro himself, will he look at me in the eye and say, okay, I'm not going to vote for Saminu, I'm going to vote for...
But you and I know what's going on in the PDP now. The PDP is not enjoying the best of times, even at the national level. We call for Yoche Ayu to resign, and it looks like PDP is a house that is not in order. Isn't this going to affect the PDP's chances even in the states?
I don't think so. I haven't finished. You see, at the national level, what people in Nigeria, the first, like I said, is where was I yesterday? Where will I be? Why am I today? When APC was elected in 2015 in Jigawa, what was the life of a common man in Jigawa and what is the life today? The ethnicity factor, you cannot wish it away in Nigeria. It's a major factor. Will I be voting for somebody from Lagos, or will I be voting for a Fulani man whose mother is from Jigawa State? That will be the question. The third question will be, okay, who are the political actors? You said myself and Lamido. On the other side, you have Badaro. That's all. So, will the local political actors, are they with who? People didn't vote the first time for Lamido, not for him, but for me. It was my vote.
Because of your support for him then?
Yes. So the issue is, in fact, that is why I said, okay, people were talking about Buhari. I said, no, don't do CPC, we'll do ACN. So we know our strength. And CPC had a candidate, Buhari, when they're 5 times President Buhari, and the candidate got 38,000 votes. And that candidate was my House of Reps member who I helped to be elected. So all I'm saying is with that will decide Northwest, the 7th state of Northwest will decide the presidential election.
Yeah, so Tinubu is your friend. I mean,
he is my colleague, my friend.
You were in the same collegiate of governors together. And now Atiku is there. Atiku was also a governor-elect in 1999 before he was eventually nominated as a vice presidential candidate. And of course, they went on to win. He became vice president. Within these two gentlemen who have been your friends over time, who do you think stands the better chance of emerging?
I think there are two sides of one coin.
So the APC and PDP are the same in this instance?
No, they're same. The issue is, I remember in 1999, we had a candidate, Ogbonnia Onu.
Yes.
In
APP candidate.
And I was one that sponsored, among the governors, I was one that supported Ogbonnia Onu. And he can tell you that, together with the governor of Kebbi now, Bagudu.
Yeah.
And everything financed, I think 72 million naira for the primaries. Everybody that went to the primaries, we paid for his hotel, paid for his transport. And we got 98% of the votes against Sule Lamido. And when we came back to Abuja, they changed the ticket, and fortunately Atiku-Abubakar was nominated on the other side. And I said, we're not going to do that ticket. So we did PDP ticket. And I told Atiku, he said they were going to give 2 billion. I said, no, we don't want any money, we'll just deliver you. I remember Bafarawa and Saraki collected money through Bukola. It was given to Bukola by Atiku. So we supported Atiku to be vice president. And anywhere Atiku was going, myself and Donald Duke are always in his team. And he
just like it is at the moment.
Yes, and he told me, he said, look, I had shown you love. Why don't you reciprocate? That's Atiku. Now, our friend Bola Tinubu, even when with Tokumbo Afikemi, when Abacha was looking for, we had a guest house in Ikeja. He stayed there before he went out. So we have come a long way with Bola Tinubu. And when we were having a meeting with Kashi Tima, there are 12 people in the advisory board. I'm the only former governor. I didn't quarrel with Bola Tinubu. That's why I took even ACN. And like Bola keeps saying, he said, look, come back, let's find you something. I don't want it to go.
Yeah, I mean, having been his associate in ACN, shouldn't you have been back into the APC to support him?
Yes. And no, we were together. And Bola is a friend, and he's very good also. But the issue is simple. I'm the youngest member of that team. So because when Yar'Adua contested, I put everything on hold to support Yar'Adua.
In 2007.
In 2007. And I remember even there were only 2 PDP governors, Yar'Adua and McCarthy. I joined PDP so that you can't have 2 governors in a zone of 7 governors. You have a presidential candidate. And I was able to convince Adam Aleru. So that made it 4. And we brought Wamako, who was the deputy governor. That makes it 5 because Barbara said he was contesting for under another party. So 5, 4 or 5. So what happened to me when my colleague, my best friend, became president? Talk about APA, EFCC, and other things.
Yeah, I mean, which are the very strong issues that there. But I just want to be very clear. In this instance now between Bola Tinubu and Atiku-Abubakar.
Yes, I'm giving you an answer.
Yeah, I mean, so that we don't lose
Atiku had always been on free enterprise, on the need to move forward. Umar Shinkafi wrote a paper and said that when you train people to be police or military, even the president Buhari said when officers were retired, he said you have lost 500 days of training. These people were trained to be crime fighters. Now you took them out of that and made them Gestapo as a political police. So there was that vacuum, and that was what made banditry now easily, Boko Haram, because there was no intelligence work. But in Jigawa, because of the polling unit, we have intelligence unit in Jigawa. If you come to Jigawa, they'll say, no, I have seen somebody from Arise Television going to this person's house. It will be reported. So that's why you had Bauchi, Kano, Yobe, Niger having Boko Haram, no Boko Haram in Jigawa. Somebody was telling me it's a corridor of supply. I said, no, it's because of the system we set up. Allow me to continue with that system.
Now, for the purpose of time,
and banditry,
try to no, I still want you, because you haven't answered my question about these 2 friends of yours. Tinubu, who was your former ACM benefactor, and yes, of course...
No, not benefactor, he's not my...
Okay, friends.
Friend.
Okay, Tinubu and then Atiku, who was also your friend, so, yes, and all of that.
Yes.
So, within these 2 gentlemen in 2 political parties, and you've been in these 2 different political parties, what do you see as a crystal ball in 2023?
I'm now a PDP bona fide member. I will support Atiku-Abubakar, despite Tinubu being my very, very good friend, and we always have arguments.
Kwankwaso, the chances of the NMPP in Jigawa, because he keeps appropriating Jigawa and Kano as areas where he's very strong.
All those, 90% of those who went to ANPP had gone back to PDP or APC. Because before, the telling point was that this is Turaki's party with Kwankwaso. And when he put our names, and what we were meeting at that time was, let's do a political party that others will be, not one man. So majority of them had already gone back to their parties. You understand? So I don't think he has a chance in Jigawa, but in Kano, I think he can win the governorship candidate. But in the presidential election, I believe Atiku will win Kano.
Okay, that's, some people will say that's...
No.
With people like the governor of Kano State giving strong backing to Bola Tinubu, going around with him everywhere. Have you seen Ganduje? He's almost not in Kano. He's everywhere with Tinubu, trying to see how he presents Kano to Tinubu. What do you say about that?
In 2003, I told President Obasanjo, 2002.
I
said from what I saw, when we went to the Nepal because of Muhammad Abacha was arrested, I said, you will not get 15% in Kano. Atiku-Abubakar argued with him. He said I was lying. And Obasanjo didn't get 15%, and Kwankwaso lost his seat. Now today, the most unpopular politician in Kano is Ganduje, because of selling land, and governors should not be selling land. There are many things I don't want to say on television.
Well, because he may end up accusing you of the same issues as you are having with the EFCC.
Yes. So I don't have any issue. EFCC case is about oil, is about ethanol program, which is a national program. So look, the issue is that Kano people, when they change, they have changed. Kano will not do APC. Kano gave President Buhari 2 million votes. Today, what is Kano better off today?
Okay, and then of course one of the third factors that we've been seeing is Peter Obi, who's going around the country canvassing votes here and there. I mean, what has chances in Jigawa State?
Peter Obi has similar policy with myself. So I find it hard to attack Peter Obi on policy issues. But I believe Peter Obi and Kwankwaso will be, I have quarreled with some obedience. I said, look, Peter Obi and Kwankwaso are targeting 2027. Because the two main actors today, Atiku and Tinubu, this is their last election. If Tinubu wins, then Atiku will not contest any other election again. So Peter Obi stands a chance of going back to PDP to contest for presidency. If Atiku wins, which I hope, inshallah, for him to win, then Tinubu will exit political structure and be the richest politician among our sets. But it means then that Kwankwaso can now go to APC to contest for presidency. So they are forming a bloc structure to go back to APC or PDP. That is their end game. So whatever Kwankwaso will do, he will try and win Kano governorship.
Okay.
That is, whatever money he raised for the presidency, he used 50% or 70% for Kano governorship. That is his aim. He's raising money for Kano governorship.
Okay,
yes.
Very interesting. And so
Yes.
Peter Obi doesn't stand a chance in Jigawa State. Is that what you're saying?
No.
Since Kwankwaso doesn't stand a chance in Jigawa State.
No, Jigawa, there will only be two parties, APC and PDP. That's
so
all.
what are the chances of Labour Party in that region, the Northwest?
I don't see any.
Including having the vice presidential candidate of the party coming from that zone,
He didn't finish.
Yusuf Babadeti Ahmed, he won't stand a chance?
He's my younger brother. I like him, but remember, he even lost the Senate seat to McArify. I don't think there's a chance. After all, okay, look at his brother, who is the spokesman for Northern Elders. What is he saying? So I this is the same mistake that Awolowo made. Peter Obi should have taken a former governor or a present governor or a senator, strong politician. Maybe he just erred into that. And I told Tinubu this. As
his vice presidential candidate?
Yes, I told Tinubu this, but Tinubu was looking more at, okay, let me support President Buhari so he can support me. He didn't care about his colleagues. And that's why many of our colleagues now will not be supporting him. So the issue is...
and when you say many of your former colleagues will be supporting him, former governors within your set won't be supporting Bola
Many
Tinubu.
of them are not.
Well, what if the candidate disputes that he has a lot of people who are coming close to him?
We will see on election day. People can go and talk to you to get money from you. We don't go to Tinubu to ask for money. So that is not the issue. I can tell him the truth. The issue is that how I see it is, I have only one fear, which I keep voicing. Now, if we get people into a frenzy, like obedience are doing, I've quarreled with many of. I said, so if they lose the election and become distant third or fourth, what happens?
Okay.
So that they won't, then
very quickly.
You see, IPOP helped the rise of NSAS helped the rise of Peter Obi. Just like what happened with Boko Haram and others helped President Buhari, because it was said President Jonathan was not a northerner, he is not supporting.
Very quickly.
Yes, so Boko Haram helped President Buhari to come to power. IPOP is helping the rise, and NSAS is helping the rise of obedience.
Well, some of them will dispute this with you.
Yeah,
but we must thank you immensely.
Yes,
Ibrahim Saminu Turaki is the former governor of Jigawa State.
I just have one thing to add before you close.
We don't have enough time.
Yes, I know. You see, there's flood in Jigawa, and I want to sympathize with those who are affected on the flood. And what I keep saying is, anytime there's a flood, we have flood and we have fire during the dry season, we rebuild villages. I have done with American and others who rebuild 5,000. And then
unfortunately, we don't have enough time.
And then we did a wall around Hadeja and Auyo. If that had continued, we would be taking a flood.
Okay, so the project was stopped by your successors. Yes. We must thank you immensely. Ibrahim Saminu Turaki is the former governor of Jigawa State and is a senatorial candidate for Jigawa Northwest of the PDP in the 2023 general election. We'll wait and see how it all pans out with your predictions here. But I'm very sure two of your friends will still be counting upon you for your support, either for PDP or APC, despite the fact that you're in the PDP. We must thank you so much immensely.
Thank you.